Hey, what's up, Forum? It's Gorilla Hands, and I'm bringing you another gameplay commentary. Today it's a game of TDM on Villa, and instead of following one single player's perspective, we actually have three different players' perspectives for this game. And to help dissect this gameplay, we have one of those players here to help commentate. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
What's going on, Forum and YouTube? This is Low Blood Sugar. I just wanted to say this will be my first attempt at any sort of commentary, so please bear with me. And I guess we'll try to get this thing done.
Yeah, I think we tried one take before, worked out pretty well, so I think we're going to do a good job here. We bypassed that first part, and I edited the first part with different angles to show that each guy in this game, Fonzie, Axe, and yourself, all took a different route. And I liked that you guys kind of formed an offensive front and kind of protected your flanks. Was that something you guys planned, or that just happened kind of naturally?
It was not something we planned out, but we've been playing together for a while in general, and this particular night, I think this was maybe our fifth match that the three of us had played. So it just kind of happened naturally when we started off. I made sure I didn't follow Axe. I took a different route, and Fonzie did the same. He saw which way we went, and he went the other way. Just sort of a natural instinct.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it's you kind of notice that when you play with the team consistently, that people kind of know how each other's going to play, and you kind of take your own routes. I notice if I play with a new form for the first time, it sometimes throws my game off because people go routes that I don't expect them to go. So it's definitely kind of a benefit of playing with the same group of guys for a long period of time. And the other thing I noticed is each person has a different role. Fonzie seems to be kind of the rush guy who's messing with their spawn and kind of moving them around. Axe is kind of doing a little bit of both. He's got the M14 for long range, but he's also, he has a fast enough trigger finger to do a little rushing and close quarters combat. And you're kind of working the perimeter with that silencer, kind of falling up behind and taking them out, and they have no idea where you are. Is that something that you guys worked on as well? I mean, is that at least your style? Is that something you do normally? Kind of like ghosting, kind of silencing style, or is that something you did for this game?
It was specific to this game. I really change up how I play based on, number one, who I'm playing with, number two, the map, and really what I did, like I said, we had played a few matches already together, and so I already had an idea of what they were going to be doing as far as how they would play. And so I adjusted my play style to try and complement theirs while they were, being a little more aggressive than I was. I was sitting at the back, making sure nobody flanked them, calling out anytime I saw enemies heading in towards their location. Of course, they did the same thing for me. So that way, if they had an enemy retreating back towards the edges of the map, I would be waiting for them. And, it worked out really well overall. It ended up being very even as far as the kill distribution. I think we all had somewhere in the low 20s as far as our kills went in this game. So it really it complemented everything very well, I think.
I think you guys ended up with 67 total kills, so yeah, it was pretty good distribution amongst you guys. The other thing I noticed, you mentioned callouts, and which I think is a kind of a pivotal thing to do well against maybe a team that's of equal skill. I think communication is kind of the key to do well. I mean, how do you guys normally communicate with one another? Do you have specific callouts, or do you have like a strategy, or is it kind of just natural? Not just kind of say whatever.
Well, we try to use callouts as often as we can. Sometimes when you get excited, you're in the middle of a firefight or something, it slips your mind and you just say, hey, there's a guy running over there. But somehow, a lot of times people know exactly what you're talking about. Of course, part of that comes from awareness of where your teammates are at on the mini-map. It doesn't show it in the theater capture, but in gameplay, you have the blue triangle, so you know where your teammates are at, and you can give them a heads up. And sometimes something just as small as saying, hey, turn around, is enough to give you an edge over an enemy.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, the difference with playing with greenies and then playing with an organized team, I think the big part is communication. And the other part that I noticed that worked really well for you guys in this game is your kill streak layout. I think Axe was running kind of lower team-based kill streaks. Fonzie was running in the middle, which were also, I think he had Blackbird and Chopper Gunner, yeah, Blackbird also helping everybody, and you ran the Chopper Gunner, a higher end kill streak. Was that something you guys planned out, or was it just coincidence that you guys all had kill streaks that helped each other?
Well, like I said, we had played a few games together this night already, so we sort of had an idea of what we were going to be running. It wasn't something we actually talked about, but I know, for example, I always run a UAV. and I always run Blackbird. I always have those two. I know Fonzie was running a counter spy plane, and Axe, I believe, was running a spy plane, counter spy plane, and care package. He was at a lower level, if I'm not mistaken, which is probably why he had that particular setup. Whereas I actually had dogs on the same as Fonzie earlier in the night, but once I realized he was going to be running them, I switched over to a chopper gunner so it wouldn't interfere if both of us got the kill streaks at the same time, which we actually did in this game.
Yeah, well, no, it definitely seems to pay off and work out really well when a team kind of has all their kill streaks spread out. I know I personally like running 3, 4, 8 just because you're not going to get a whole lot of kills with it, but it really helps your team a lot. Once that counter UAV goes up, it doesn't matter if you have a silencer or not. Everybody essentially has a silencer, so having a good distribution seems to work really well, and it shows in this game. I do have a question specifically for you. You're known around the forum as the LMG guy, but for this game, you're running the Enfield with the suppressor. Is there any specific reason why you're running this assault rifle? Are you just trying it out, or what are your thoughts on the Enfield?
Well, it's map specific for me. I don't always use an LMG. It can depend on my playstyle somewhat, but on a map like this, there's a lot of movement. You have people spawning in front, behind, everywhere, and that mobility is kind of more important. So I'll actually run an assault rifle. As far as the infield, I'm not a big fan of any of the assault rifles up until the AK-47. So I've been trying different ones out, and this Prestige I stuck with the infield for a while. I actually found I really thought the iron sights on it were very good. And the first time I used it, I wasn't so big on it, but this time around I gave myself a little time with it and actually have come to enjoy it, and I'll probably be running it quite a bit more in the future.
Yeah, I mean, I really do like it, especially for long-range weapon. It's a long-range weapon. I have trouble using it in close range because of its rate of fire, but I could put it in the same category as like the M16, G11. It's low recoil and rate of fire works well at a distance. But it looks like this video is coming to a close. Thanks LBS for coming on and helping with the commentary. If you guys like this style of commentary and gameplay, please let me know in the comments, and we can certainly do more in the future. And if you're new to the channel, please feel free to rate and subscribe, and also check out the Forum Boys website. I'll include a link in the description. And as always guys, take it easy.